welcome our two moderators, Francesca Bosco, Chief of Staff at the Cyberpeace Institute, and Cédric Hensler, CEO of Expert Solutions. Thank you. Francesca, I'll let you ask the first question to the first startup.
Thank you so much, Emily, and thanks a lot for the opportunity. You heard from Stefan, so you don't need another round of Cyberpeace Institute pitches. So let's start with the actual pitches, and I'm very happy to introduce David from Collect ID. And actually, looking at your company, David, what I was thinking is, how do you see your company in 3 years, and what do you think that you need to reach to that point?
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Francesca, for this question. Actually, the answer is quite straightforward. So we want to become the #1 solution for connecting physical products securely with digital twins in the digital dimension, or ultimately in the metaverse. So what we want to do is we want to connect products like merchandise, football jerseys, for example, or any other kind of valuable physical products with this digital dimension. And the goal is for us, it's very clear in our major industry, the sports industries, to become #1 in the US in the next 3 years. So it's a very specific goal. And to get there, first of all, we need the talents, we need the resources. So we need a business development team in the US to build up that traction. We have raised the money already. We've just recently closed a significant funding round. So we've raised the money. So I think now the next step is to hire the right talent, to get the word out, to create brand awareness, and to actually get traction within the next 2 or 3 years within the US industry.
Thank you so much, and excellent list, excellent wish list. Cédric, over to you, and very happy to share the panel with you.
Thank you, Francesca. So we have Axel on the floor. As a chief commercial officer, I have this commercial and marketing question to you. What is your marketing strategy, and how do you plan to reach your target market for the next 6 months?
Thank you very much for the question. I am Axel Engels from Learning Robots. Our mission is to teach artificial intelligence by training a small robot. And our strategy for the next 6 months is based on 3 pillars. First pillar is to consolidate our position on the French education market, animate our network of resellers to take advantage of the end of COVID positive context, if it happens, of course. Second one is to issue our first newsletter to inform our customers, our contacts about features, references, news from the team. And third one is to launch a Learning Robots user group to share experience, collect feedback, and create a positive buzz around our solution. The second objective is to develop international sales. Obviously, start with Switzerland, leverage a top-class contact given by our coach and by our 3 mentors about education market in Swiss Romande. There are a lot to do there. Close the first deal with our existing distributors, Educatech in Switzerland and ETC Hong Kong, and attend the BET Education Show in London in March to recruit resellers in Italy, Spain, Benelux, UK, Germany, USA. And finally, the last objective is to address the vocational training in enterprise, which is a huge market that is untapped today. Identify partners already in this business and address directly the campus of large European enterprise like Total, Orange, and others. And we aim to multiply the revenue by 2.5 2022 versus 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Axel, for this clear vision of your market. So I leave the mic to Francesca again.
Thank you so much, and welcome, Johan from Caius ID. Actually, I have one question related to the market validation. So which type of market validation have you made so far? What's your market potential assessment?
Hi, Francesca. Thank you for your question. Actually, we started the market validation even before starting Chaos ID, because we spent the last 15 years working in the packaging and anti-counterfeiting industry. So we knew there was a problem, we knew there was a market, and we thought there was a better way to address this problem. And then the question was, how do we develop the best technology to address those problems? So it was from the very beginning, going back and forward from the lab to the client, to the fairs, to test our ID, to test our little lines of code, to come with a solution that address the needs of the market. And then we also had to adapt, because the pandemic changed the game with a big boom of e-commerce, and counterfeiting was is still a huge problem. But the gray market and all the product going through different channels had become a huge problem for brands. So we had to readapt. So today, in terms of traction, we signed our first client last year. We signed multiple collaboration agreements with packaging manufacturers, and we are in negotiation with top 10 cosmetic companies and strategic partners to build this traction. So what do we need now to build this traction is to grow our team, to get some fundings, and to have a structured way to enter and to grow our market.
Thank you so much for the answer.
Thank you.
And Cedric?
Oh, yeah. So we have on stage now Rusty from Jitswin Inc. We have this question to you. Is your startup contributing to the UN SDGs? And if so, which one and how?
Hi, Cedric. Yeah, thank you for the question. And well, just a quick word to explain Jitswin and what we do, and then I'll answer the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So we have a software product called Archivist, which is designed for companies that share data and assets, so that whenever data is shared between companies, between individuals, you can verify where the data came from, who has touched it, who has changed it. And we keep a permanent record of what's happened to that data, so that you can identify whether something is true or not, whether you can trust it. And this is really valuable whenever either information or assets are being shared between people. So our plan is to support a couple of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Good health, for one. You need to be able to track health information as it flows between companies, between individuals, and be able to prove that what you're reading is actually true. We're also working on affordable and clean energy. So the software already is being used, for example, to track nuclear waste, to identify as it flows between different suppliers, and to check and ensure that it is actually going where it should be going and treated as it should be treated. And the technology can be applied to much broader energy use cases. And the last one is around responsible consumption, because as you track assets through their life, from creation through use, through hopefully recycling or upcycling, you're able to verify who's touched it, what's in it, what's been done with it. So we hope the platform will be very supportive for a number of the goals. And we're starting with software and data and assets, but we're hoping to broaden it out.
Thank you very much, Rusty, for this clear answer. Francesca.
Yes, and welcome to Paul Olivier. And from Essia AI, I think we interacted in the past, so I'm very happy to see you again. And especially because we interacted in the past, my question to you is how you see the scalability, basically, of your company and in the next 3 years, and what do you think you need to reach that point?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I'm glad to see you again. So at STI.ai, we help decision makers feel more informed and empowered as they discuss personal data policies. So we did this with 15 Finnish MPs, MEPs, civil servants, and journalists, including, for instance, the former Finnish Prime Minister and Vice President of the European Union. We also helped a coalition of MEPs demonstrate the hidden lobbying tactics of Meta, so Facebook, via ad targeting as Meta tries to influence the policy debate in Brussels. What we do is also we help companies build digital trust by explaining the issues at stake in a changing regulatory context, but also by providing them with the software and infrastructure that allows them to go beyond compliance and achieve the transparency necessary to build this trust. So in terms of scalability for us, the real challenge is to walk hand in hand between technology and education. So within the next 3 years, our goal is to have STI.ai having trained 100 groups of decision makers at approximately 100 companies, but not just that, also to have a training program that is fully scalable in line with the technology solutions that power that education program. What we need to achieve this goal are use cases. So we need diplomats, MPs who are interested in digital framing and helping them understand the issues and make the right decisions. But we also need pioneering business leaders who want to set an example of digital probity and gain market share by being a leader in those fields. When those two populations converge, when the interests align, then together we'll have reversed a negative curve that has been playing for the past 20 years or so, and we'll have created a new dynamic. We'll have entered an era of virtuous use of digital data. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Cedric?
Yes, welcome Walid of Global Data Excellence. We have this question to you. Can you define us the 1 year and 5 years impact that you are trying to accomplish?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Did you hear the question?
So I heard the question is define the 1 year and 5 year impact.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, excellent. Yes, thank you. So first of all, Global Data Excellence, what is it? It counts today 10 employees and 15 certified partners, and its educational program is at the curriculum of multiple top universities. The GAFA told a wise man, we are able to repair any broken arm in less than 5 seconds. And the wise man told them, Global Data Excellence with DEMS are able to repair any arm before it breaks. So today, actually, Global Data Excellence created the only ethical and the preventive AI technology in the world, enabling to govern by value. DEMS. DEMS is the name of the system, DEMS Nexus. And it is 100% Swiss AI from Geneva for global governance and recognized among the 20 most impactful and sustainable leading companies in the world. It has more than 30,000 users today, with 3,000 managers and leaders and executives across 50 countries that are racing with DEMS towards continuous excellence. It is almost in all industries that are existing in the world, manufacturing, oil and gas, pharma, etc. It already achieved and allowed our customers to make 8 trillion euro turnover, and it is still growing every day. It enabled to economize 100 billion, which corresponds to a small portion of the global economy. So imagine that this eradicates poverty and align the SDGs. Today, in 1 year, we want to consolidate our markets. And if in 5 years, we would like to enable everyone in the world to use them, including SMEs. Thank you.
Thank you, Walid. Francesca, give you the mic back.
Thank you so much. And welcome, DJ, from Farmer Connect. A little bit of like a different flavor, let's say, in terms of question. What is your competitive advantage related to existing and similar technology?
Hey folks, I'm DJ, I'm the COO of Farmer Connect, and we are a blockchain traceability company. So if you look at the space, you can also think of SourceMap or IBM Food Trust. Covantis and another number of commodity tracing companies. Our main advantage is that we started within the industry and we primarily employ industry experts. So when we walk into a meeting room with stakeholders, often they recognize us because we've known them for years, and we understand what the issues they're facing are. During scoping, we're relentlessly driving towards business objectives, and that means that we typically will have slightly longer discussions, but when we do, they're more relevant to the business, and we try to angle in for more of the strategic priorities that face that company, but also that will be applicable to other companies within the industry. And also what that means is that we often have people who are willing to introduce us to those companies if we don't have contacts already. I think I'll just cap it off. I know we're on a short time schedule and we've got 2 minutes, but I was once asked during an interview, what advice would you give to anyone starting a blockchain company? And I would say, don't be a blockchain company, be an industry solutions provider.
Thank you so much, and thanks also for the, let's say, for the suggestion to the group. So no more blockchain companies. Let's put it in this way. Thank you so much. Thanks, DJ, and over to you, Cedric.
Thank you. So welcome, Arthur. We have Arthur from Equity for Humanity. Sorry. We have this challenging question for a 2-minute answer. Can you describe your solution and how and what is innovative about it?
Thank you very much, Frederick. Ambassador Grominger noted the failure of legitimacy. Perhaps that's because as we claim success in our system, we've actually spent $3.2 trillion to be 20% behind the SDGs, and climate, we know, is falling further. Governments simply haven't got the cash. Foundations only allocate 5% of their 1.5 trillion. And the professed success of impact investing, do we genuinely believe we have mobilized 3 times the entire budget of the Bretton Woods system in the last 2 years of COVID and a collapse of FDI? How much longer can our siloed intermediaries continue to throw siloed bullets at the 4 horsemen of apocalypse? The issues we face today are systems in nature to which we must apply system solution. The metaverse is exactly what Equity for Humanity is trying to do by applying the same technology tools, legal, financial, and innovation of the last 15 years now to development. But however, hardwiring, a point made critical by people in this room, the social mission. And we propose doing this in five ways. We use $65 million worth of built technology, including IDE4 and ICS here in Geneva, to create a systems and data and network that is holistic, real-time, competitive, comparative, and predictive, and structured in a way that again hardwires the multilateral community. Our financial framework, designed by former regulators, already passed into law in the United States and applicable globally, allows us to leverage and scale existing financial innovation, and indeed makes the problem a tradable opportunity based on the value it creates. Markets measured in billions by folks such as McKinsey and Accenture, framed in an open modular technology system planning process that can take 45% of the cost out of the SDGs. We propose scaling this through a network of climate committed cities, which will represent 70% of humanity by 2050, all underpinned by a governance and incentive structure of inclusive ownership, including the communities, and a governance mechanism. It is in essence the metaverse for UN 17, the application of systemic technologies, legal and financial innovation for the well-being of all. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Francesca.
Yes, and rushing towards the end, but so I'm very happy to give the floor to Alex and from Condensation Data. And we mentioned the SDGs before, so since it's such a key topic, how is your startup contributing to the UN SDGs, and how?
Thanks for the question. So very basically, I would just say that it helps for justice, for energy, and for equality. And I will explain now how. It's the main aspects. So let me just explain quickly the technology. So with condensation, we want to move from a practice of outsourcing the control of our data to, for example, a cloud provider, to a practice where the companies and the people get back the ownership of their data. So the technology, it is generic, which means that it can be used to build any applications.
And so it comes with these properties that could help to achieve the sustainable development goals. So I go through quickly. The justice is because it helps to protect the digital rights of people. It gives them data ownership. Every app you build with condensation, it comes with end-to-end encryption like WhatsApp, and it comes with the tools to verify that the data you receive is not manipulated, it comes from the right person. So it's an enabler for the economy of trust. The second aspect was energy. So it's very efficient from an energy standpoint. It's a blockchain technology, even if it's a blockchain technology. And I think it's a key feature in the era of data where we are intensively consuming data. And finally, the third point was about equality. So the solution is very simple and gives a lot of flexibility. People in the developing country, they have a very scarce internet connection, and it enables to have the application properly working with local data, even if they run out of their connection. And finally, it's very lightweight. So it can be installed even on low performance devices. Finally, just to finish, it's an open source technology. And so we hope it will benefit also to a lot of developers to disrupt how we create the applications. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. And Cedric?
The last question. Thank you, Francesca. So we have Matthew of Adresta AG, to whom we asked the same question that we asked to Walid, which was, can you define us the 1 year and 5 years impact that you are trying to accomplish?
Sure, thanks for the question. So at the moment, we are focused on the vertical of the watch industry. The impact we create is educating the brands about the importance of engaging with their customers digitally. We help them to understand that their future customers will be digital natives. This means they really need to think about how to engage with their customers. Because let's be honest, nobody buys a watch today to read the time. So even the people who have a watch look at the phone to read the time. So why do they buy the watches? It's about fashion, status, showing off, etc. So for the brands, it is essential to engage much better with those customers in a digital manner. Our paying customers are convinced that engaging with their owners via digital twins or NFTs help them to stay relevant in the future. In 5 years, next to the watch industry, we will be addressing the jewelry and the fashion vertical. We establish a digital ecosystem where brands, retailers, and third parties like insurance corporations or banks are creating a seamless customer experience for the owners. On the second-hand market in 5 years, we have even a bigger impact. Today, when you sell a luxury product, let's take the watches, and you sell them online without the paper and boxes, you will not get the same price as you would sell it with them. So in 5 years, if you sell a product on the second-hand market without the digital twin, it's the same effect. Without the digital twin, you will not receive the same value. Thank you very much.